Okay. All right. It's Autumn and Rose with our business tips. We just like to hang out for a while by ourselves talking, and then we decided to share with you all. Um, and Autumn is a financial advisor, and Rose is a business consultant, and we are going to give you tips. So today's tip, Autumn, do you want to start?
Sure. So my tip as a financial planner, I run into this a lot with my artists clients, especially. They tend to have a very cash-heavy business, and so a lot of times they try to manage their taxable income, shall we say, by keeping it under a certain tax bracket. So, and when I say that, I mean they go under the table when the tax bracket starts to hit. So here's me telling you why that's a terrible idea. So first of all, when you get to the tax bracket, let's say you make $1,000 over the tax bracket, and now suddenly you're in the 28% bracket instead of the 25% bracket. Mm-hmm. That means that $1,000 gets taxed an extra 3%. That's it. The rest of your stuff doesn't get taxed. At the new higher bracket, you don't get any, I mean, it's a tiny amount, and you're legal. Your Social Security is going to be a lot higher when you retire. You're going to be able to get loans when you decide you need maybe to get a loan because you'll have proof of it on your taxes. So it just makes me cringe when I hear people are going under the table when it looks like they might be hitting the 28% bracket, or even one of the lower ones.
That's really useful, Autumn, because you don't think about, or most of us don't think about the possible implications of avoiding reporting the taxes. It's very good.
Such a small amount difference.
Exactly. That's cool. I can pay taxes on $1,000.
Extra 3%. I mean, it's not that big of a deal.
Exactly. That's good. It's very good.
What do you have for Rose?
Well, my tip today is I would recommend that people plan big and then create a shortfall plan. So along the same lines of people's perspective of their business and what they have to do, a lot of people, they have a dream of where they want to be in 10 years. And I have clients calling in. This is a good sign. And anyways, they have this dream, and what tends to happen is people start from where they are now, and then they have a dream of where they want to end up in 5 years or 10 years.
Okay.
And that's actually backwards. To plan from where you are to the future is backwards. What you want to do is plan from the future you want to where you are now. So let's say in 5 years you want to be making $1 million. So you want to look at what is the product you're going to do. And obviously you do the product research and you test the market and you do everything else involved in starting a business. But once you're in business and you've done that, your due diligence, you can take that and say, to make $1 million in 5 years, in 4 years, what are you going to make? 400,000? And 3 years, what are you going to make? 300,000? And you create your plan, and then you tie your plan to actual product and sales, so that you have a realistic actual plan that you could implement versus some sort of fantasy called $5 million in 5 years. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So it sounds like you're just backwards engineering the final product.
Exactly. You always reverse that, and then you also create your shortfall plan along with that. So let's say your plan is $5 million in 5 years. Okay. So what happens if the market changes and your product that is now retailing with a 15% profit there's no longer room for that much profit, and you now only get a 5% profit? Are there additional revenue streams? Are there other things that you can charge more for? Where is it that you have actually some wiggle room and some room to actually make a difference? So create a big plan, reverse engineer it, and then also create a shortfall plan.
So it sort of seems like just on the outskirts, the fringes of it, you're trying to keep a few other irons in the fire. Just keep an eye on what the other markets are doing that are in related fields and go from there.
Yes, exactly. And you always want to have other revenue streams available. You don't put your eggs in one basket.
Right. Well, it sounds like you can stay in your industry basket. You just want to make sure that you can see what other options you have in your industry or field. Is that right?
Yeah, okay. Very good. Yeah, perfect. A lot of times people leave money on the table in many different ways where they don't actually consider that they could be charging for that service, or they could partner with somebody and move your business in another direction. You want to make sure that your business is able to move and is fluid. Yeah.
Well, and it sounds like if you're really on target, maybe that's a good idea to leave it on the table because it'll be outside of your mission. But if you need it, it's there and you just keep an eye on it. Is that right?
Yeah, it could be. It could be that way, but you definitely in the planning, you want to do that. Because especially when you start a business, you don't have the wherewithal to start 5 different revenue streams. But you can start one really strong one and then know that there's 5 other ones available.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. All right, that's our tip for today.
Nice.
At some point, we will get our Google Hangout together and do it again soon. Bye, everybody.
Thanks, Ruth.